Adnan, Abhijit is here. Can you shift him to the breakout room?
Good evening and warm welcome, everyone. This is our first Goodness Express webinar, and we are delighted to have the young change makers. And why we call them change makers, I will explain that in a couple of minutes. Let me first introduce myself. I am Dr. Ashish Ambasta, based in Mumbai, and founded C Talks as one of the platforms where we bring ordinary people to tell their extraordinary stories. So we have been doing this for the last 4 years. Goodness Express is a platform where we go to different parts of the country to in search of goodness. And whenever we go to a place, we find something beautiful, we capture that story, and then we relay it back to the world. This is part of Chetna, a very unique platform where you will see hundreds of change makers in one place, all supporting each other, all encouraging each other, and all wanting others to do something which is extraordinary. So Goodness Express is part of Chetna and C Talks together, and that's why we are hosting this. We are thankful to CDG, Connecting Dream Foundation, which is a unique foundation where they provide youths with an opportunity to bring a sustainable change to this world. Along the 17 Sustainable Development Guidelines, which United Nations has put in front of us. And not only they get an opportunity to bring this change, but actually they are making change happen. And my definition of a change maker is pretty simple, that these are the people who don't only want to change the world, but they also gather knowledge, information, resources, and make the change happen. So till now, we have seen many brilliant change makers, but it is the first time on Goodness Express, we have got 6 very bright change makers with us. And we are going to ask them to share their stories. And we will also ask them that why they picked up something which they picked up, and how has the journey been, and what is something which was very exciting and something which really frustrated them. And at the same time, most importantly, what's the change they have brought? And is there a way in which we can quantify that? So I think this and many more such stories is what we are going to talk about as far as this show is concerned. So first of all, a very warm welcome to the change makers. We are delighted to have you here. First, we will start with knowing each one of you. I know there are 6 change makers who are representing 3 teams. We have Srushti and Abhijit from TISS. Then we have Gayatri and Diksha from Aryavat College. And then we have Yashashvi and Ankur from SRCC. So this is the way in which they have paired up as a team. But then before we ask about what they have done as a team, let me ask them what they do and who they are and what's their background. So maybe we can start with the TISS team. And if Srushti and Avinash can talk about who they are, Avinash and Abhijit can talk about who they are, it's a great.
Thank you, Ashish sir.
Hello.
Yes. We can hear
Avinash, you continue.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I am Srushti Avinash Puri. I am a master's student of social entrepreneurship at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. Yes, sir, say something about me in a brief. That's exciting. So basically I'm a BA English graduate, and after that I came for social entrepreneurship, so which is a completely switch even for my family, because literature to management was a leap for them, for me as well. So the reason why I chose the course, because I was really interested about the management, entrepreneurship, and these things. So I chose this course, and the social impact challenge by CDF was really a add-on for me, because whatever we study in the class regarding entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, management, all those things were quietly like the practical part of it was the competition. And About me, so I am the e-cell coordinator at the entrepreneurship cell at TISS Mumbai. So we do a lot of things around entrepreneurship to promote the culture of entrepreneurship around the world, around the country. So we do e-talks, then webinars, workshops to promote this culture and to promote the entrepreneurs. So during this COVID also, we thought like we should do something that help people. And being a student from an institute like Tata Institute of Social Science, we are socially responsible. We know what happening in the society, and we know we should help if there is something that we can. So regarding that, we started this initiative called Sahay Ek Prayas, where there were 70 plus participants, 70 plus change makers who joined us, and we helped more than 2000 plus 2500 plus people around the country, and with the essential goods we can do. And
Avinash, we will come back to you with a story. First, let's have a quick introduction. So
yeah, yeah,
it's great to know that you have transitioned from language to management, and
yeah,
that itself should be a story. So we'll ask you a little more about that as we move forward. But for a
okay,
quick introduction, we'll go to Abhijit now.
sure.
Hello, sir. This is Avijit here. So I am also a first year student of Masters in Social Entrepreneurship from Mumbai. Like for joining this, I did my engineering in computer science, and after completing my engineering, I joined Tech Mahindra as a software engineer. Worked there for 6 months. After that, I left the job and like started preparing for TIST and IRMA. It's another Institute of Rural Management, and finally I got into TIST. Apart from that, I'm the marketing head of ESL TIST, which Avinash just talked about, and as also a member of like the team Sahay, which Avinash talked. That's about it.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Abhijit. So 6 months of corporate stint ensured that you look for something which is, exciting in social entrepreneurship. It's again a very brilliant story we can have, and we will ask you more about that. So, we'll come back to you. Before we do that, let's go to Aryabhat College, and if Gayatri and Diksha can introduce themselves, it will be really good.
Hi sir, I'm Gayatri. I'm doing economics honors from Aryabhat. I've been in CDF Aryabhat for the past 1 year and have been very recently announced the president of CDF Aryabhat. I am a very I'm a very vocal LGBTQ supporter, but also while I believe social entrepreneurship is important and I very openly promote it, I also have other interests. I'm into dancing. I've been learning Bharatanatyam for the past 14 years, and I love watching shows and reading books. And I think this has been a great experience till now, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the talk.
Amazing. So Gayatri, how do you find so much time to do so many things? I think it's something very interesting to know. Okay. So brilliant introduction, and thanks for that. Diksha?
Hello everyone, I am Diksha from Aryabhat College. I am currently pursuing psychology honors, and as a practical application of psychology, it's important to observe human beings and their activities around us. And I think that also forms a very important aspect of social entrepreneurship and social work as well. As for me, my social work history goes back to when I was 8 or 9 years. My father is a general physician, so he used to organize free health checkup camps, and I used to be there with him at the registration table and sometimes just looking around and seeing how this works. And I used to sometimes even guide old underserved people to the respective camps and booths where they could go and get checked up. So I've been observing these things at the grassroots level, and that has shaped me into being inclined towards social work. So when I joined Aryabhat and I got into the orientation for CDF, I knew that I had to join the society, and this is where I wanted to work. So now I've been working with CDF for a year, and currently I am the project head of COICON, which is a project based on sex education and awareness. So and that's about me.
Brilliant, Diksha. And you, through your introduction, put a very important point that if we can influence our youngsters, okay, and let them know right in the beginning the virtue of being helpful, and if there are role models, with whom they can see that what it takes to change the world, it goes a long way in shaping their mind. And I think with your example, I think your dad did a wonderful job.
Yes.
I think he would have asked you to come along, but whatever you saw there actually got imprinted in your mind. And one of the objectives of this webinar or Goodness Express has always been to talk about two things. One is we need to recognize people doing good, and because if the entire world trolls you if you do something wrong, right? But nobody comes and tells you good job if you're doing right. So we are here as a platform to say that even positive trolling should be done. Okay, so we should all say good job. And then second is we also feel that doing good is not so tough if it just requires your mindset, a little bit of empathy, and the amount of energy youth has. I think it just needs a direction, and I think a lot of changes can be brought in. So extremely inspired by your introduction, Diksha, and thank you for that.
Sir.
And let me go to SRCC. We have Yashasvi and Ankur. So ladies first. Yashasvi, you can start with your introduction.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Yashasvi from Shriram College of Commerce and I'm a first year student currently pursuing BCom Honors. I've been associated with CDF since the past 1 year now, and I am currently heading a project called Arogya, which deals in the sector of menstrual hygiene. Interestingly, I have also been associated with Bharatanatyam, but I left it midway. I could not manage it quite well as Gayatri did.
That's
Also,
to Gayatri, okay? You should connect with her separately.
Also, what kept me working for CDF since the past 1 year was not only entrepreneurship, but the social aspect which it brings with itself. The power of bringing a smile, the power of bringing a change so easily by just channelizing your efforts in the right direction is what CDF taught me. So that's about me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think in psychology, one of the things which I learned through my PhD is there was a concept of mirror neurons. So mirror neurons, the construct there is that if you do something, if you see something doing good, okay, there is an intent which comes in your mind that even I want to do something like that. So it's also positive affect, and it's also about seeing the right example in front of you. So I completely agree with what you said, that a simple smile when you reflect back can take care of the hardship which you have taken throughout the day, if that smile is there in front of your person whom you want to make happy. So absolutely correct. Ankur, you have got 3 R's in your name, so you have to also explain that.
Okay, so that 3R is because of someone who likes it. By she told me that she likes RRR after that, so that's why I'm here with 3 R's. And introducing myself, sir, I am from Shriram College of Commerce, and like any other studious Shriram College of Commerce, my first month was with books and classes with teachers' faces and libraries. Every day I used to study. I like in my PG also I used to go and study. And everything changed when I entered into the society name is Connected Dreams Foundation. It changed everything. Over there, I really got to know what exactly books taught us. In on-ground visits and everything, they taught us what exactly is the revenue model, what exactly the supply chain, how we need to manage different stakeholders, how we need to see demand and supply chain and equilibrium. So that is what is exactly about me, is everything about CDF that I am here. And as a change maker, as Yashasvi and everybody told that how it has changed everyone's life by making them not knowing what is the project and what is the social, entrepreneurship aspect of it, rather than also the social aspect. That is what has also brought in me about the after being a change maker.
Brilliant and good. So thanks for answering my questions, all the questions quite candidly. Thanks for that. Great. So Changemakers, as I was telling you some time back, that these are the individuals, and there are a lot of change makers. Okay, we have just picked up some sample of how change making looks like. So what we will do now is go to you all and really try to understand. I just mentioned that being a change maker is not very difficult. Okay, that's the statement I said, and everybody should do that. But is this the case in reality? I think I would like to know about this from all of you. And for this, I think I would like to go to SRCC first, and the team from there. You can talk about what does change making means for you, and when you are not happy with the status quo, that's why you want to bring the change. And it's not only about just thinking about change, but then taking the first step, and then and then ensuring that that change is being brought in. So would be very interested to hear your story of what actually in the society made you sit back and say, no, status quo will not be possible, and I need to do something. So if you can talk about that, will be really interesting.
So as I said, bringing a change is not only impacting lives quantitatively, but seeing that just one smile which you can bring through your efforts. So as I said about Arogya is a project which deals in the sector of menstrual hygiene. I'll tell you how we started with Arogya. We were in one of our surveys in some slum of Delhi, where we heard some women speaking about how they used a piece of cloth or a towel during their menstruation. And when we went to them to ask if why did they use a towel or a rug, not a sanitary napkin, they were so shy about it. They just closed the doors on our faces and they refused to talk about it. So that's when we thought that even though there are so many movies coming in there, the government is creating so much impact, is helping them with sanitary napkins. Why does this problem still exist in society? And we could not sit idle about it, but we started with our journey and with Project Arogya. So we went and took surveys of these women to know that the three main problems which were prevalent in the slums of unaffordability, unavailability, and unawareness in the sector of menstrual hygiene. So what we do is we create a basic supply chain model in these slums. We procure sanitary napkins from a manufacturer and we give it to a woman there who is our user group, and she further sells it to the people there. So two impacts are created through this. People there grow financially, grow more aware about the whole process of menstrual hygiene, and along with that, a woman is helped by growing financially independent. So all the profits of the sales are given to her, and an impact is created by selling pads and making people aware about menstruation.
So Yashashvi, if you can talk to me a little more about this entire profit making. Who invests money? From where you got money to buy this in bulk? And then how did you identify these ladies who could sell it for you, and you could sell it through them and make them independent? So can you throw some more light around how did this happen?
Yes. So initially it was our pocket money and a bit financial help from the main CDF organization. So we invested in the project. We took the order from the manufacturer and we gave it to them. And when the sales were made, we got the money bit by bit back. Coming to the part like how we chose the user group, how we chose the women who would sell the pads for us, was we took surveys in those slums to actually identify the problem of menstruation and the and other problems related to menstruation existed in those slums. And during that time, we would identify a woman who is confident, who is not very well financially stable, who does not have a very good financial condition, and who is ready to talk about it to other women there. So we would identify that first. We would convince her to be a user group there, and we would motivate her and tell her that she is so important to make a change in the community. And then we start with the training of the user group and then the subsequent sales and marketing in that area.
Perfect. Very quickly, if you can tell me, how does something like this is going to sustain for a long period of time? So for example, if you move out or somebody who is part of this is not around, and I think I asked this question from all the change makers, that starting something is good, it's appreciable, but then how do you scale up and ensure that it's sustained? So any thoughts around that?
Yes. So how the initial stage where we move to take the service in the slum is with the help of an NGO. So there has always been an NGO with which we have collaborated with and then moved with the service in the slums. So when we think that it is time to make the project in that area sustainable, we hand the entire responsibility of ordering the pads to the NGO, of giving the money to the user group to the NGO, and we take up direct follow-ups from those NGOs that if the entire functioning is taking place at a smoother pace.
Sure. Perfect. Brilliant. Ankur, you want to add something?
Yeah, sir. Adding to that, sir, just one thing, sir. Everybody here, a youngster or even a person who is more than 30 years, in Instagram story or tweet, they write government, abusing government, that they are not doing anything in this. Just a question to them, what have you done? Is this what we need to realize, that it is not just the government or everyone sitting out here that you need to just point out on the other person and say that you have to do something. It is an individual who have to step up and to do everything and to see what they can do, like as a change from their own side. Considering like today's situation, if we take COVID-19 situation, there are so many daily wage earners who could not eat like a 3 times also. So it was like everybody's duty to just provide them something from their own personal capacity or anything that they can do. This is what change we want to bring among everyone, every citizen of India, that if you want to make an economy a very good a very like developed country, it is important that everybody step up and not only just abuse government and the opposition that they are not doing anything. And moving on to the projects which I have worked is like on a trip to Vrindavan with my friends. I went and there I saw that people were offering flowers and that flowers were just thrown into the carts. On realizing that, I thought that what is this being done? It is just that they are just wasting the flowers which was offered to someone, which was offered to a god. So to solve this problem, we thought that why not to collect these flowers and to convert them into something which is very productive or useful for everyone. So hereby we started a project which is named as Arpan, where we have collected the flowers and converted them into incense sticks by making the productive use of the flowers. Moreover, we have used some like eco-friendly products like DP and essential oils to make it environment friendly, and we have also empowered women and specially able people, or whatever is the income is given to them, thereby making entrepreneurship among women and helping in sustainability for the environment.
Brilliant idea, Ankur. So मतलब ये entrepreneurship का एक this is the quality of an entrepreneur कि आपको वो कचरा दिखता है, okay, but मुझे वहाँ पे एक opportunity दिखती है to change the world. Okay, so I think that's the spirit of an entrepreneur, and if you do it good for society, then it's what is social entrepreneurship. So brilliant, Ankur. So we'll come back to you with more questions, but let me go to TISS Mumbai, and if the team can tell us. I read about your project in terms of how exactly you helped, farmer community, and to not only ensure that they get right price, but also they get sustained, and the larger, larger base is served quite evidently. So if you can talk more about that, Avinash, it will be really good.
Yes, sir. So again, as you said, so I think the main issues or challenges that we faced initially, when we started with CDF, it was we are given us with a case study which mentioned that there are 300 around 15 case studies we were given, and we have submitted the answers regarding that. And after the boot camp, we have given this they said that we will be giving you enterprise. So we got this one, and when we went to the field and talked to the farmers, we came to know there is no proper such enterprise exist. Oh, there are 3 villages, around 300 plus farmers, and everyone is an individual farmer who is not like they are going to the market individually and selling the product. So the first thing that we face the issue is to communicate with the farmers and bringing them together, because that's the most important thing that everyone faces when we talk about agriculture and farmers. So uniting the farmers. So even there are a lot of farmers interest groups, FPO, FECs are already exist in the country, but the main issue is that they don't work properly. The unity is not there. When the profit comes in, the unity gradually like it breaks or something issues coming in. So when we started, this was the first issue that we identified. And when we went further, again the same issue happened when we started to look for the supply chain. That was most important part for us to understand what is the supply chain, how the product comes in and it goes to the market. So being the social entrepreneurship student and management student, we thought of that and we started unfolding the supply chain market. So we went to the farmers and we went step by step, like whom you go and sell. So the farmers said that they go to the wada, the block, and there are 3 traders mainly whom they sell. So these are informal traders, which we call dalal, the middleman. So it is an informal market. So the price is not defined. Like the price varies from rupees 50 per kg to 80 to 90 per kg. Even some farmers get 100 to 120. It depends on the when they are going to sell it and on the quality. So again, the main issue that we identify, which is very common among the farmers, that they don't process it. They direct they harvest and they sell it. So that was the issue. So there are few issues that we identified, and we thought of a proposed plan that how we can improve the situation. And the plan we came up with, the 2 plans, post harvest management and capacity building. These were the 2 plans we came up with. So first part of the plan was to give them trainings on post harvest management, so that it will help them in future. So after the harvest, they can process the food, they grade the product, and after that they will sell. Then they might get a good price. That's very common. Secondly, because in that way, the question that you asked earlier, if we leave or by any chance the like it not goes well, then also it will help them. And secondly, the capacity building also. So we have decided to provide them some trainings regarding harvesting, regarding sowing, and after that also including the marketing part also. So regarding that, we came up with this plan, and we decided of a enterprise farmerly, that we have gave the name. And again, the main issue we faced during that time was the product was about to harvest during March and April. So we didn't have any product in hand till the COVID happened. So we decided all the plans and how to go about it, and it's almost set. And we have channelized it into B2B and B2C market. We collaborated with few B2B markets. There are few in Mumbai, if you are in Hyderabad, and some in Delhi also. And we have already sent the samples to them. So we prepared all the charts and we circulated, and we got a good response. And currently the project is on hold. We advise some farmers to sell the products, and they got a good price. It's 80 per kg. That's the like better than the average they used to get. So it's better for us. And that we advise some farmers to keep a small amount of their harvest, so that we can try it in the market with our plan, so that we can launch the full enterprise in next year. So that was the plan we had.
Super. So it seems that all the system is in place, and all the background work has been done, and COVID-19 nobody could see. But then what you are talking about is that this plan is foolproof, and once things become normal, then it will be able, you will be able to implement this quite well. One question to you, Avinash. dealing with farmers, okay, and trying to change the way they do things, it's a different ball game altogether, right? And sometimes, the status quo is something is everybody is comfortable with. Nobody wants to change the way they wanted to do. What are the things which you did which made them say, okay, I think I don't know what will happen, but we can still want to take a chance with what you're saying. So how did you go about that?
So regarding the farmers influence, like bringing them on board, you're asking that?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, yeah, that's also like the challenges you mentioned. So because they were happy with the status quo that was happening, so they don't want to, even when talk to them, they don't want to do those processing, grading all those parts, because that tough for them. So involving in another process. So they were happy with they are going to the market and selling the same harvest. So we convinced them that if we do this, the income will be slightly more, and you can also earn more, and you can give a good condition to your family also. So overall it will be helpful. So first thing that I understood in a enterprise, being a management student, is if you're going somewhere, if you're convincing somewhere, you need to show them that it's benefiting for you, it's not for us. So when we went for them initially, the farmers used to think we went to 3 villages, and we had around 7 to 8 meetings consecutively. Like we used to do classes in the weekdays, and we used to go there in weekends. It's around 100 kilometers from Mumbai. It's in Wada, Palghar district. So we used to travel that long, and we conducted around 8 to 10 meetings there in the 3 villages. We had a talk with around 80, 90 farmers. And initially that was happened, like they were not agreed, but we convinced them. They thought that we are the middlemen, we are going to procure from them, and we are going to sell it. So they were thinking that we are like just another middleman, and it's for us, it's for our profit. But we convinced them that this is your enterprise, you are going to be the owner, you are going to sell in the market, and everything, the profit will be yours. We are just we are helping you, and it's just the knowledge and the experience is for us. We are here to work with you. So it's not for, so it's important to convey them that it's not for the profit for the people who is doing, but for them.
Brilliant. So we'll go to the Aryavat team, and Diksha and Gayatri, if you can talk about, I think both of you have worked on different areas. So if you can talk about the areas where you have been passionately trying to bring some change, and then let us be aware of what has been the progress till now. It will be really good. We'll start with Gayatri.
Yeah. So I've been working for project transformation. So actually, interestingly, the other day, I was having a conversation with my project head for transformation because we wanted to find a perfect introduction for this presentation we were doing. We wanted to start it with saying how the LGBTQ community has been so discriminated against. So we wanted there to be a personal touch. So we were discussing when we've ever seen discrimination against the LGBTQ community. And the truth is that we really haven't in our personal lives, because people know that discriminating against the LGBTQ community is wrong. So that's why they never openly actually talk about it. The only reason the discrimination is so evident now is because of the existence of social media, because these people hide behind blank DPs, fake names, and put whatever they want to. And I think that situation of not having enough awareness about the community, that we never even heard about the discrimination. But when the on-ground discrimination is so real, leading to suicides and so many more heinous crimes, is the reason why project transformation was needed. So, which is why we decided we needed 2 sectors for this. So there was one which was sensitization, making the public aware about the LGBTQ community, the problems they were facing, what we can do as allies to help them, but also making the community more independent so that they can get their jobs and basically get out of this cycle of what is most predominantly a profession of dancer and sex worker, as we've generally seen with most of the transgenders we've communicated with. So in the transformation talks, initially it was very tough because however progressive or educated we consider ourselves to be, our strongest opponents are also those people. So when we started transformation talks in our college, there was a lot of opposition from some of our own faculty who said the LGBTQ community is wrong, it's immoral, why are you supporting this, don't encourage this publicly, what are you doing? And I think the main problem that comes with working for this community is not anything that the community says to you, not working for the community, but just how much people judge you for working for it. Because the stigma that surrounds the LGBTQ community, it doesn't only limit to them, but also to the people who want to help them. I mean, we've been active on social media and we ourselves have received homophobic and transphobic slurs for conducting transformation talks. So then it actually reinforces the fact how much the society's mind needs to actually change in this aspect. And besides the transformation talks, we've been interacting and going for field visits to meet the members of the community so that we can collect their CVs and also send them to other companies which are community inclusive. We were also part of a job fair this year, which was the first Pride job fair, LGBTQ job fair in Delhi ever. And we collected 74 CVs, and one of them got a job recently. It was a paid internship with Accenture. She's a pre-operational transgender woman. And honestly, the joy of, because this is one project that you can't quantify the numbers. You can't say this is how much you sold or this is how much, you can't say the number of mindsets you impacted. So when you actually see something quantitative, that you've actually made a change, when that one lady got her job, it's such an amazing feeling. And this is why, the question that you asked initially, saying that why does anybody want to change anything? The purpose isn't to make people happy or feel that happiness when you see others happy. It starts with you seeing a fault in the society, but then you sustain it because it really makes you happy when you're making a change.
Brilliant. Absolutely. I agree with you. And one of the things which I would like to know more about is leave aside your friends and your professors and others who look at you saying that what are you doing? How is the reaction in family? What exactly family says?
Oh, they're actually very normal about it. One of my first field visits, because I just finished first year. So one of the first field visits of our session, we had gone to a lesser known area of Delhi, which was almost like a slum area, to interact with a transgender woman. And I was very hesitant to tell my parents that I'm going to an already seemingly shady area and also to interact with a transgender woman. But when I told them, they were surprisingly cool about it, because I guess I've been blessed that way.
No, absolutely, and I think this is a message for all the parents out there in terms of all the guardians, so-called protective guardians, that no, a cause is more important than the person, right? So if somebody is very, very determined to bring a change and identifies with a particular cause, I think these people like you are blessed, because a lot of us will have, good job, will have good designations and big cars and everything, but you'll not know what's your purpose in life. And I think that's why you feel very hollow from inside. And I think as a parent, I will be very, very happy that at least my kid has got something to work on, which drives him or her to wake up early morning every day. And I think I was talking to you guys about this research which I have been doing, and I ask this question from everyone whom I meet during my field visits or whatever opportunities I get, that if you don't have any constraint in life, would you continue doing what you're doing? And most of the people tell me that given opportunity, I would do something else. Maybe after retiring or after 5 years, they will just postpone things, but they will not be very happy with what they are doing. Even Gallup's data on engagement says, right from 1996, you can Google about it, they have been saying that 73% people coming to workplace are not engaged. and only 27% people are engaged in what they do. So that means 75% of people who come to work every day are actually not very happy. And one of the critical reasons is that they don't have purpose in life. So absolutely great to hear that you have got parents who understand this very well. So good job on that. We'll come to Diksha and we'll talk about a little more, and we'll come back to you again, Gayatri, with more questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Diksha.
Sorry, sir. I couldn't get your question. I got
No,
disconnected.
I wanted you to tell about the initiative which you have taken, and how exactly it is going and what's the future looks like.
Right. So my initiative right now is to spread sex education and awareness through the community of adolescents and young adults. It's before we started this initiative, when we were still in the planning stages, we conducted a survey of a sample size of 100 people to gauge whether there was a need for sex education, as well as people's attitude towards sex education. And the response we received was surprising to us as well, because I guess 99% of people said that there is a strong need for sex education, and they demanded us to immediately start workshops on the same. And I'd like to mention some statistics here. The lack of sex education in the country today has led to so many problems. It's actually funny that यहाँ पे कोई सेक्स की बात नहीं करता, but फिर भी हम ओवर पॉपुलेटेड हैं. So the country's population is at 1.38 billion right now, and an estimate says that a child is born every 2 seconds in this country. And we all can see the effect of overpopulation. The sustainability has really gone down. Our natural resources are depleting and whatnot. In addition to that, we have sexually transmitted diseases plaguing the country today. And the worst part is that people are not even aware of those, or how to protect themselves from those. About 2.4 million Indians are infected with HIV right now. The rape is so rampant in this country that every 15 minutes a woman gets raped. And that is the sad reality of today, just because people don't want to talk about what's happening and take steps to stop it. So we realize that consent-based sex education is the only long-term solution to stop these crimes and to control the population, to have a safe and healthy population of the country. So yeah, that's the initiative we are taking, and we aim to organize workshops about it. We aim to have question answer sessions with professionals, and as soon as this quarantine gets over. And currently we are spreading awareness through our social media platform, which is our Instagram right now. So yeah.
So you were saying that your initial survey has been done, curriculum is in place.
Yes.
It's just that because of COVID, things have not taken off, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Aren't you guys thinking of doing an online session, because you never know till what time and date it go? How are you planning around this?
Yes, we are actually planning of a webinar. In fact, we have a survey already underway right now, which is to know from people what topics they'd like to have a webinar on. And we are just finalizing a professional right now who could conduct the webinar for us, because we are students, we are not licensed to do this thing right now. We can just assist the professionals. So yes, we are finalizing a professional, and we'll be soon conducting a webinar on the same.
Okay. And also, yes, that point is extremely valid, because even as a parent, you would be very conscious to understand that what exactly you are going to teach, how the messages are being delivered to your kids. And then I would be very interested to know from you, Diksha, that how exactly you're going to measure the impact, because only by delivering workshops, you can make me aware, right? Mm-hmm. How that awareness translates into appropriate action.
Yes, sir. So
some thought around that?
Yes, we have. We psychology has this psychometric assessment of attitude scales. So before and after these workshops, we will be handing over an attitude scale to our participants, and we'll then judge whether we have been able to create an impact through our webinar or workshop or whatever, and then we'll ask them to give us feedbacks and get their attitudes towards the topics they just learned. So that would help us get a record of the impact.
Okay, and if you have to scale it up, right now you're talking about Delhi, right? So, but this, has your survey showed that as far as this problem is concerned, is it urban versus rural, educational, educated versus non-educated? What exactly is the segment? So any input around that you have got?
Sir, actually our population was urban population only. We haven't gone to the rural side yet because we were just starting off. So right now we are only focusing on the urban population.
Okay, brilliant. Great. So I'm sure that our viewers have got a gist of what exactly is the work all are doing. Extremely great initiatives. My question to Abhijit is, Abhijit, if you could hear us, then this question is for you. Tell me, what are the challenges you faced and how these challenges actually made you guys stronger?
Okay, so like I lost the connection for some time, so I missed what Avinash told. So the main challenge for me was the place we are working was in Palghat in Maharashtra. So and there was we are a group of four students from TEST, and there is only one Nandan who understands Marathi. So that language barrier was really challenging for us because at the end of the day, like Nandan, he used to like make us understand like what these people were speaking, but at the same time we also realized that it's very important for each one of us to understand what they are telling, because each one of us can understand things in different perspectives. So the language barrier was the main challenge. Secondly, though later on we could work really strong on community building, but initially it was a big challenge because normal students from Mumbai go to these villages, they spend some time there and they come back. Like it has been happening for years, but these villagers do not see much change there. So they think like that only, that these students have also come. They will spend 2-3 months or 4 months there. They will do some survey and they will go. So that's the notion the villagers have about the students. So it was our work that really made them like feel that that is a serious and they will be continuing. So we made them understand that like for what we have come to their place, to these 3 villages. So our course, which Avinash told, that it's Masters in Social Entrepreneurship, it teaches us about the same process what we are doing. So we told them that we are only here for the learning purpose, and in this process we can help the farmers of this village. Like we do not have any personal economic gain from this thing. So that was the thing, and there are a lot of challenges. Like initially we used to do group meetings of SHG members and these farmers parallelly. So there we found that this meeting is not really impactful to make these people understand. So because in meetings there are only 2 or 3 people among a group of 40 or 50 who speak. Others, they do not speak. There is some cultural aspect to it. There is a like tribal, non-tribal scenario. All these things are there. So we focused on personal visit. We spent a lot of time spending time personally. We used to stay overnight with them. We spent almost every weekend. We used to go to these villages and spend 2 days there, spend time there, and then we used to come back to Mumbai. So that process really, like initially it was challenging, but later on it really became like interesting and a great learning process for us.
Brilliant. I will go to Yashasvi once again, and I would like to ask her that there has been a lot of awareness which has been created by movies like Batman, and a lot of people are talking about this, and a lot of NGOs are also working. Like there is a Chetna hero called Ananya who is working very extensively in this area. So in that sense, it's not something which is a new problem, right? Because you have seen a lot of people are already doing something around it. How do you see that you are going to collaborate with all other forces and bring them together so that the impact which you are trying to create is at a larger scale? Any thoughts around that? How you're going to make it scalable? Because that's something which I look forward to as far as an impact is concerned. So any point around that?
Yeah, we have come across many NGOs like who are into this field, but the problem is most of these NGOs go to these slums areas once, distribute the pads, and then they never come back. So in the slums we are currently operating in, even they faced the same problem. They said us that there were many government organizations, many agencies, and many NGOs which distributed the pads for free. But once they distributed the pads in that area, they never showed their faces again, and they were back to using cloth and rugs and towels. So this is what was a major hindrance for us, that many people thought that the NGOs will come for their help and will distribute the pads for free, and they were not willing to buy it even at a minimal amount of rupees 15 per packet. So that is how we come into picture, and that is how we bring a change there. Currently, we have collaborated with many NGOs, and we are looking forward to expand the project without a major intervention of ours, and only with the intervention of the NGOs in the areas.
Cool. Cool. Gayatri, a very small question to you, a very quick one. So you spoke about one person got an internship with Accenture, but then it's only one, right? While we can always be happy that at least we have moved forward. Suppose we tell you that you should have a target of 100 such placements done in next 2 years. Do you guys think like this, or you say, okay, whatever happens, we will do our best and see, what is going to take place? So I would like to understand your mindset around that.
So actually, the first time I started going for field visits to collect CVs, I did have a certain number in my mind कि these are how many CVs I want to collect. इसमें से अगर मैं bulk में collect करूँगी तो इसमें से इतने तो select हो ही जाएंगे, job मिल ही जाएगा. But I think the main problem with the community is it's much more complex, because most of the people that you're meeting, they don't actually need educational qualification to get jobs in the corporate world. So right now was the first time that we actually took part in an LGBTQ fair. So over there we submitted 74 CVs, and we haven't gotten the result yet. So we don't know if they have the job yet or not. But also the thing is that now that because of the job fair, we've gotten into contact with a lot more companies which are LGBTQ inclusive. Like Accenture and many other small companies who were now regularly sending CVs. And also the thing is, as I already mentioned, that most of them don't have education to be going for these jobs. And most of them actually aim to go into the beauty sector or basically vocational course related. So which is why we have a project called Kavish, where we aim for the betterment of underprivileged women by giving them upcycled denim so that they can make bags out of it. What we also aim to do with that project and transformation is the people that we encounter who are part of the community and don't have any skills but really desperately want a job, we want to guide them into that so that they're able to at least make something till they can get another job. So we're also planning on providing them counseling sessions and skill building workshops in association with our placement cell, so that they're able to get the skills required for whatever little job they can and then rise up the ranks. So right now, since job is something that we've only very recently started getting, we don't have a particular aim that this is how much we want, because any any aim can be too small or too big depending on how much we've done throughout the year. But I do have a good feeling about it. We've already in the past 2-3 months contacted 3-4 companies who are getting our CVs. So yeah, right now no goals.
No, I didn't ask this question to put you on the spot and say, okay, tell me the number.
No.
You know, one of the things that you can do is there are a lot of companies now from their diversity and inclusion goals perspective, they are looking for uh, places where they can go and hire. So instead of just trying to place them anywhere, I think one of the things which you guys can do is to really look at which companies have got intention around diversity and inclusion, and can you be an enabler in terms of helping them meet that quota which they have set for themselves?
Yeah, so that's what actually that many companies which are looking into this and which really want to diversify, but most of the members of the community that we come across are people who don't have skills to get the jobs in those companies. So
Right.
that's why we don't have a name as of now to get the jobs, but to at least ensure that the people who are not qualified to get the jobs, we're able to teach them basic skills so that they can get some job and then rise up the ranks.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so now we are at 5:57, and I did not know when the time went away, and I haven't yet asked a lot of questions. But since we have only 1 hour for us, so we will have to stop. But before we go, I would ask you guys, all of you, to give me your opinion in one sentence. Okay, that what is your message to the young population or people like you, or not only people like you, but anybody who might be thinking that they should do something good to the society, but they haven't taken a step. Okay. So what is the message you'd like to give to them? And I think all of you should answer before we close this.
Yeah, so as the tagline of Project Arogya goes, Ashai Hongi Puri. So that is what I want to say to the youth present today, that let's not focus only on our dreams. Let's not focus on fulfilling what we desire to achieve, but let's make a small effort in fulfilling the dreams of others as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I go next?
Yes.
Okay, so I heard this somewhere that if you are privileged enough to have a roof over your head and you are getting 3 meals a day, then it's time that you should start giving back to the society. So I would urge the youth of today that we definitely have a lot more than that. So why not start now? Because this is a need of the hour and the people out there need us to make the change. So yes, we should get started.
Absolutely.
So
Can I go next? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So adding to that, just wanted to tell to everyone that just take a step. Like, just don't depend upon others. Just take a step and try to do in any way, in any possible way you can from your own side. And moreover, always aim high. Even if you miss, you will be among stars. Always think that you can do it and you can achieve it. And if you think that you can do it, then you will surely do it.
Yes.
Yeah, so the thing is that I'm assuming that most of the youth is actually aware of what is going on and what the help is needed. But I don't really know the reason why many of them don't want to stand up and help. But I do know one thing, that even if you don't feel that you have to work for a particular community, just start working. Once you achieve something, the happiness will force you to do more things in the future. You just need to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so my sessions will be like, as I am connected to agriculture. So there are different sectors in the country. So first choose the sector that you are interested in. and just start working in that sector. So once you are connected to that problem, nothing that can demotivate you. Even we have a lot of issues going on in every sector. There are issues, but once, like I heard some entrepreneurs say that India is a good country for entrepreneurs because we have lots of problems, and when there is a problem, there is an opportunity. So I suggest that just start working. So once you are connected, then there is nothing that can stop you. Just love the process and go on.
Okay. Abhijit?
Yes. I'd like to add a few points. So first thing is we all must remove the notion that donation is the only thing through which we can give back to the society. Like most of us have this notion, like we can contribute to a society in simple ways. Like we talked about our initiative Sahai, where we haven't from our end we haven't spent a single penny, but we have directly impacted more than 2,500 people. It's like you need to really think about the problem which you are seeing. It can be any problem, and apart from donation, there are multiple ways. Like you can use your education, you can use your the MBA education skills, the business administration skills to some way contribute to the society. So the youth must remember, and it's a good news for all the developing countries. And India is also a developing country. So there are a lot of problems in all these developing countries, and there are a lot of gaps to fill. So the youth must step up and try to fill these gaps. It can be a small thing. They must stand up for the change. That one message.
Brilliant. And listening to all of you, one thing I remember is there is no correlation between wisdom and age. You can be quite old but still not be very wise, but you can still be young and be very wise and thoughtful, which all of you are. So it's a great privilege for me to have hosted all of you. And I'll just say that it's just the beginning of socially responsible life for you all. There will be a lot of things, a lot of dreams, and a lot of aspirations even you guys will have. But just having that empathy and this willingness to continue on the good path, so that what you have started continues with you throughout your life, is something, is the only thing I will wish for all of you. And you all were quite candid, open, and quite inspirational in what you said. So all the best to you for your future journeys. And I'm sure you guys are going to do pretty good. And with youth like you, India is in safe hands. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir, for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.